Hi guys. I wanted to come on because I think I've been really wrapped up in my mental health stuff and I haven't been, I don't know, able to see enough perspective as of late. And yesterday I found out about a person who is sort of connected to me through my networks who I really don't know very well, who will be deported because their case didn't meet requirements for asylum, even though the judge indicated that they were in a position where going back could be a very violent situation for them, because our immigration policy in this country is really broken, and we can recognize that people are in danger, but there's still a high chance that we won't be able to do anything about it, and we won't protect them, and we will send them back to that danger, even if they have really sacrificed a lot, maybe, nearly their lives to escape and to come here. And when I hear about, these things, that people who I'm connected to, people who I meet, people who through volunteer work I do, and in the past, through jobs that I had, are dealing with these kind of nearly impossible issues. It really does help you take a step back and recognize that you're a little caught up on yourself, and that the world is big and it's important to be grateful. And honestly, I'm so lucky for even this moment. This moment that for me in a lot of ways is shrouded in sadness. Life is hard. For some of us, much more hard. For some of us, there are many times in which the brink of death is not even a choice. It's just what life is handing us. Actually, I got into a little bit of an argument with my Uber driver last night because I was talking about how I feel safe in Chicago. I feel like as a woman of color, I can often just express my opinions, and there are parts of the country that I have been in fairly recently where I don't feel as safe doing that. And he agreed with that, but we didn't have the same opinions on a lot of things because he grew up in a low-income neighborhood in Chicago, and he really felt like the people surrounding him were disappointing him a lot, that he saw a lot of people fall into cycles of gang violence and crime and different things, and he blames his community. And this is something that I hear a lot from folks. It's kind of like respectability politics or something, and I often push back, and I'm like, I don't think it's your friends. I don't think it's your family. I think it's this system. I think, we were set up to fail. And I do truly believe that, but, also hearing from someone who has had a tougher upbringing than me and who, has really seen some shit, frankly, growing up, who am I to just, push back against them fully, Who am I to say, oh, no, you're wrong, your cousin so-and-so, never had a chance anyway, because I feel like that's taking away that person's agency, and it's a whole thing. But we were talking, and it was kind of an argument because we weren't agreeing on a lot of points, but I think we were also being very kind and gracious to each other, and I know that, by the end of the night, because I take these long commutes because I am often, I guess I shouldn't say where I live in Chicago, but I often take probably a 45-minute Uber a lot of times based on where I am in the city doing different volunteer work and stuff. So 45 minutes to an hour, depending if I did the pool. If I do a pool, it's more like an hour, or it could be over an hour and 15 minutes, that kind of thing. And I'm chatty, so I usually end up talking to the driver, and I've had a lot of really great conversations. And last night, I think we weren't seeing eye to eye, but I think we were understanding each other. And he asked if I had ever been to another country. And I said, well, I'm half Indian, so I've been to India a few times. And so he was like, well, so because he grew up, when he was a child, he grew up in Puerto Rico, but then he's been in Chicago since like a young child, like 6 or 7. And he was like, so then, you've seen like how bad it can be, and how, oftentimes here we just don't know that, and we're just complaining. Like in other countries, people are actually starving. But here, no one is starving. We actually have an obesity problem, and on top of that, folks are choosing to not succeed. Folks are choosing to not get an education that is public and that they could get, and all this stuff. And I don't agree with those points. I think that there are many, many barriers in developed nations, and in Chicago, that funnel certain folks into a cycle of poverty. And I don't think that, oftentimes it's not a choice if you enter into a gang at a very young age. Oftentimes, this stuff is folks are coerced into this stuff. Not that folks don't have any power or anything, but that we do what is expected of us, kind of thing, and that we all do that. So it's different versions of that. And there are also all these policies in place. And he was actually talking about this too, about how the Clinton policies, but even before that, the Lyndon B. Johnson safety net policies, really amplified the safety net for households with women, and excluded men. And I don't know, in his opinion, that kind of led to more single-parent households. I don't know how true that is, but we were kind of talking about the intersection between policy and individual choice, and how do we even make that distinction? And it was just a really good conversation. And it's just really important to, I think, try to step outside yourself when you feel like you're kind of cycling inwards and just layering in and in on all these things that bring you down, because it is a spiral for me. It's a downward spiral for me. And just that human connection of being able to learn from other people and realizing the suffering and the barriers that we all face, and that life is hard, and there's a reason why folks believe what they believe, and even even if it's vastly different from the way I see the world, because we're all just trying to do it. We're all just trying to make sense of this world. And I think in many ways that's so beautiful. In many ways it's so tragic. In many ways, the landscape of our reality is much broader than the spiraling mess that's happening inside my mind. And there's some level of peace and tranquility I can find in that. So, I don't know, for whatever that is worth. We're different, but we all have each other. And it is worth something. I'm not feeling that much better today. I have I guess maybe I'm dealing more with body insecurity today, because I've been eating a lot the last couple of days, because the Ritalin was acting as an appetite suppressant and now it's less effective. So I've just been worried, okay, I'm going to gain the 10 pounds that I lost back, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Like, I'm worried about these same things that I obsess over, but I'm also feeling slightly more at peace or something. So, I hope you can find your peace today too. And I'm wondering if I should give you guys an update. I did go to my psych appointment yesterday, and he wants to keep me on the same dose that I'm on right now, and he wants me to work on my tolerance. So I'm going to have to not take Ritalin on the weekends, and whatever comes with that. I'm honestly really worried. I'm worried I'm going to embarrass myself and be completely out of control with my emotions, but I can do it. I can try. I can try my hardest. There are so many people out there who are trying really hard with much fewer tools, so I can do it. All right. I hope you all have an amazing day. Bye.